Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. So I'd mentioned 3 things that I feel like are gonna be helpful for not just couples, but also for photographers. And in the last video, I covered the first 2. And so I'll get to the third one. So the first one covered the fact that wedding photographers work pretty hard. And this has a lot to do with you. I don't even know, where do I start? First off, it is pretty competitive. It is tough to separate yourself from everybody else and make yourself stand out so that somebody who is interested in shopping around, and they might be getting quotes from, 4 or 5, maybe even more different places, they remember you for what makes you different. One of the things I went over was the financial aspect, as far as having to support yourself as a full-time professional. When it comes to the business side, there's also a lot of costs that are involved, like advertising, things like equipment and website hosting. It goes on, and that just covers running the business. But actually improving and getting better each year, you're looking at taking classes and seminars and trips to places that are going to help you get better, and also keep up and be able to improve over time and make sure that you are better than you were last year. If you went to school, this is a whole nother thing, because now you're talking about possibly paying down student loans or things like that, which I feel like is pretty common nowadays. What else? And of course, all of the other everyday expenses that just comes with owning a home or supporting your family. I could go on and on. And so a lot of these things have to be taken into account when we are considering how much to charge for our services. And it's a difficult thing, balancing not charging too much to the point where you feel like you're scaring people away, but also not undervaluing yourself and all of the years of hard work that you put into getting you to where you are today. The second thing was loving what you do. And this is definitely directed towards all of those photographers out there that might be working a job right now and they don't love what it is that they do, or it's not the career that they had in mind, when they would rather be creative and not feel like they are tied down by this job that doesn't give them any fulfillment. But I feel like this goes for any career. You could honestly pick anything, and if it's not something that you absolutely love doing, it makes it that much more difficult to want to go to that job and continue working there. Now, I'm not saying that wedding photography is for everyone, but especially within each industry, you really have to find what you absolutely love to do. I know photographers that do commercial work that prefer that over weddings, and I know photographers that shoot weddings that could never imagine themselves doing anything other than that. They're very different things, and you have to find your niche or what you actually enjoy doing. So finally, the third thing that I feel like everybody should know, and it might sound obvious, but make sure you click with your photographer, and as a photographer, make sure you click with your client. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've heard so many stories about how a photographer wasn't the nicest in terms of personality. I've even heard stories about how at a crucial part of the day, the photographer couldn't be found. And then there's always people in the industry that have that difficult client that was really hard to work with, and this is bound to happen to anybody at any point in their career. Sometimes I feel like you can tell going into a meeting or when you're talking to somebody whether they are a good fit as far as personality goes. One of the things I say all the time is you have to spend the entire day with your photographer. So if you don't click, it's gonna be a long day. So what do you do about this? One of the things that I highly recommend is sitting down with your client or your photographer and having a conversation that goes beyond just the day of. Have a conversation and talk about things that don't regard the wedding. And in this, I feel like if you're able to communicate and laugh and joke around and those types of things, you're going to appreciate the person that you're working with. And those are just 3 things that I have learned throughout my career and being in the industry to try to help you guys out. Now, like I mentioned before, I do want to make sure that I am putting out content that is what you want to see. So to help me out, please comment below. Please like this video if you felt like it was helpful, or comment below and tell me a topic that you would want to hear about. I'm going to make sure I put out content every week, whether it's how-tos or advice. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. And of course, follow me on Facebook and Instagram at WeddingPhotoNJ. See you down the aisle.